Okay, what we have here is 3-tab shingles. All right, your basic original shingle. All right, so what we can do with this is to use it to make our starting strip. So the starting strip, so your first shingle, all right, your starting strip is important because the next shingle after it, all right, so or the very first shingle, all right, so this is the bottom, all right, or this is the bottom, looking from your perspective, all right. The very first shingle has to have something to glue to, so it'll be easier once I cut it. But so I got to cut off these tabs, and I just want this for our starting strip. All right, so what you can do just to cut this off, all right, is just take another shingle, line it up at the top of the holes of the 3 tabs, all right, kind of right here. All right, so I'm gonna line it up here. And I'm just gonna use my shingle as the straight edge. And I don't gotta go super hard when you're cutting shingles. You cut it from the back, but you don't gotta go crazy hard or anything like that. And now all we gotta do is go like this. All right, and it comes right off. Pretty simple. All right, so now I can kind of show a little bit better. So this is now a starting strip. Okay, so the thing about it is that you can buy these, which is fine. All right, so towards me is the bottom of the roof, and the first layer, all right, is going to be like this on top of this, and what it's going to do is prevent, all right, the gap here, because 3-tab has a gap. It's going to close in that gap. It also going to use that tar strip to glue down this edge. So looking at it from your perspective, it's going to look like this, all right, and it's going to glue this down, all right, so that doesn't lay out, because this is the first layer, and it's going to seal in this gap. All right, so I'm going to take this over here, all right, and what I like to do is my first one, because I know my first layer, all right, is going to be this long. Okay, so what I like to do is actually cut this one, all right, in half first, so it's staggered. All right, so the end of this, all right, never lines up, so I'll just cut this staggeredly. All right, so halfway between here. I know these are 36, so I'll just cut it at 18. All right, so I'll just make a little mark here. All right, and sometimes what I like to do is use my square, all right, to cut this. Now you can cut it on the surface or in the back. Since I marked it here, I'll just cut it on the surface, no big deal. So all right, so I'll start with a half and then I'll run a full. All right, so I'm gonna cut some more starter strip. Like I said, you can just buy a starter strip, but I'm just gonna cut some more and then we're gonna install it. Okay, so I'm gonna install the first piece here. Like I said, I'm gonna start with a half piece. All right, and what I want this starter strip to be, and I want it to be about a half. You can do 1/4, 3/8, or a ½ inch. I'll go 3/8. All right, down. Okay, depending on who you ask. Some people say half, some people say 1/4, some people say 3/8. I'll just go in the middle, 3/8. I want it about 3/8 over. All right, the drip edge. All right, it's a little. All right, there. That looks good. That looks good. All right, and then I can just nail it off. I'm gonna nail close to the tar strip. All right, because this will get nailed off once you start nailing your first courses. All right, now we can just run full lengths of our starter strip. All right, kind of match it up here, nail it off. Let me just check it down there. That's why I use my stick roll all the time, so I can check things. All right, it's the easiest way to read it. Looks good. Now you gotta nail the crap out of these. I usually just do 5 nails per tar strip. Obviously, a nail gun would work faster. So I'm just gonna let this hang over. All right. Just gonna line this up. Just gonna let this hang over like this, and I'll cut it in a second. All right, so I'm actually gonna cut this like hangy part. All right, just like, I mean, I could snap a line if I really wanted to, but I can kind of just see this and see where I need to be. All right, so I mean, you can also kind of fold it where you need it. I mean, but I can just cut it kind of where I see it. And if you really wanted to, you could just trim it with your snips. Snips actually cut your shingles pretty good. All right, but you can just go like this. If you wanted to pre-measure it, you could. All right, but I mean, that's good enough for what we need it, because you're not even going to see that. All right, because you're going to have layers of shingles on it. And if you wanted to clean it up with your knife, you could. You can just go like this and just clean it up. All right, looks good. There it is. All right. Now they're gonna run uphill. All right, and you just kind of line it up where it ends. And I kind of just line it up over this way like this. And do this side, and I just run it up over, and it'll just continue on to the other side. But now I'm going to do this side, and luckily I cut just enough starter strip that I can do the whole entire thing, or at least this side. All right, now that you got a nice tar strip to glue to, all right, on all sides, it's going to be outlining the entire roof, so our shingles have something to bond to when we're putting our first courses on.